Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Abiding Farmhouse. I am so glad you're here today. Today is going to be another Q&A. I did one of these, I want to say about 2 to 3 months ago or so, and had a few questions. But over the weekend, I asked if y'all had any more questions for me, and actually you had a lot of questions. Like, y'all had some good questions and a pretty good bit of questions. I don't think I was expecting so many. This was going to be kind of like a two-part video. I was going to kind of talk about my one word for the year. For the past several years, I have been doing one word for the new year, but I think I'm just going to kind of address that over on Instagram and leave this video for the Q&A only, just because it may get lengthy with all the questions. But anyway, if y'all are new here, my name is Shasta. I'm a homeschooling mom to 8 kiddos, all girls. We are expecting baby number 9. I am due August the 1st, 2021. And I never make it to my due date, so I'll probably have like a July baby, I'm guessing, straight in the summertime, y'all, like in the summer. But we are just super excited to welcome this new blessing, and actually we're going to find out if this baby is a boy or girl this coming week. So y'all make sure you stay tuned for our gender reveal this week. My husband and I have been married for 15 years, and here on this channel I love to share my passion for Christ, homeschooling, homemaking, family vlogs, day in the life vlogs, all of that fun stuff, pregnancy, postpartum, you name it. So if any of that kind of thing interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you here, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and get started on all of these questions. All right, so question number 1 is, what is your favorite part of being a big family? Okay, so we are definitely a big family, and I did not come from a big family. My husband did not come from a big family. I had one brother and I have one sister. My husband has one brother and one sister. So we did not come from large families, and like even our cousins' families had small families, things like that. So, but to answer your question, my favorite part of being a big family is just the closeness that we are. Like, I love how close we have become together, and there's just never a dull moment in our home. Like, literally there's always some kind of fun moment, some kind of celebration. To celebrate life a lot around here. I just love being part of a big family. It feels like every night the girls are having like a sleepover with best friends. I mean, don't get me wrong, they can still argue a lot, but there's just a closeness to them, and I pray that always stays and that they're always best friends like that. So my husband and I just love being part of a big family, and actually now that we've been a big family for so long, I don't know what it would be like to be a small family again. It actually makes me kind of sad to think about, because I just love all of our girls. All right, question number 2 is, do you enjoy reading? If so, do you have any Bible study or devotional books you would recommend? And actually, I'm not a huge reader, y'all, okay, but I do love to read any kind of good Bible study book, devotional book. Like, I can really get into those kind of things, and I do have a couple to recommend. Actually, I have read through No Other Gods, I believe that's what it's called. Let me look it up just to make sure. Okay, so yes, here it is, y'all. It is called No Other Gods by Kelly Mentor. I read this a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, the whole thing. I could hardly put it down. It is so good, y'all. Like, it's such a good book. I actually recommend any book by Kelly Mentor. I think that's how you say her last name. She's just a really good writer. I've actually got one in my Amazon cart right now that I am getting ready to purchase to start the new year. I am getting ready to purchase this one. It's called The Fitting Room, Putting on the Character of Christ, and it is by Kelly as well. So I'm getting ready to do that one. So I do recommend any books by her. Another one that I recommend is called Crown. I do not know the author off the top of my head, but it is also a really good reader. It's called Crown. What was the third one? All right, and then the third book I was thinking of, I recommend, is called Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer. I never can say her last name, but it's called The Voice of God. I also own this book. Really good book. We actually did a Bible study this in our little local church on our Wednesday night Bible studies a while back, and it was just a really good study. So as far as like devotional and Bible studies, that's what I would recommend. All right, question number 3 is, when did you start your YouTube channel? Okay, so funny story about YouTube. I think it was 2013 or 14. I would just take little small clips of my kids either singing little Bible memory scriptures or singing their ABCs, playing in the backyard for 5 minutes, things like that. I would video that with my phone, and I would just post it to YouTube just to have as a memory. So I did not get serious about YouTube until 2018. Josh and the girls got me a vlogging camera. I started vlogging then. I kind of fell off the wagon once again. I think it was like close to a year. I picked it back up. And let's see, in 2020, I think it was like sometime last year, I got really serious about vlogging, and I was consistent. I started posting 3 times a week. I made sure I had content to put out, and I just got serious about it. It's something that I really enjoy. It's something that has been an awesome outlet for me, a good hobby. It's creative. I just love it. I love talking with other moms. I love being an encouragement. I just love stuff like that. So altogether, to answer your question, I started YouTube like, what, 8 years ago? But it's so funny if you go back and watch, like literally it's like 2 and 3 minute little clips of my kids just singing or something like that. And those are actually still on my channel if you scroll all the way to the bottom. They're just so cute and funny, and I'm not going to erase those or anything because it's precious memories. I just love having this channel to document memories and be able to connect with other moms out there. Do we want more babies? As you already know, we are expecting baby number 9 right now. And for me personally, I would love as many kids as the Lord wants to give me. I just love my children. So I love having a big family, and I would say yes to as many kids as the Lord wanted to give me. And I guess I'll just leave that at that, and we'll just see how the Lord leads. Everly is about to be 2 in March. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able, I just had a feeling I may not be able to have any more for some reason, but the Lord blessed us, and I am expecting baby number 9. Alright, so the next question is, how do you and your husband make time for each other and keep your marriage a priority? That is a really hard one, because it's really hard for us to find time for date nights and things like that. We do have a very sweet babysitter that, actually we have 2, that we can go to and ask, 2 ladies from our church that will come and watch our girls like on a Friday night for us to go out on date night, and usually that's no longer than about 3 hours. We just go out to eat and maybe go shopping or do something like that, or just go get ice cream. We have went to do like putt-putt before, and just little things like that, just to spend quality one-on-one time together. And then the second way is our girls have a certain bedtime. Our little ones, our 2 smallest, are in bed at 8 p.m. Older girls go to bed between 9 and 9:30, and they're allowed to have TV time for about an hour in their room at night. And that gives us time just to sit up and talk, or just to hang out together. Here lately though, I've just been like so exhausted from this pregnancy. When the girls fall asleep, I'm normally falling asleep right along with them. Y'all know how that is. If you've ever been in your first trimester fatigue, you're just super exhausted. But yeah, that's kind of some ways that we find time for each other and to keep it important. Speaking of, I actually need to plan a date night here soon, because we have not had one since I think the first week of December. So I think we're overdue. We need to plan one for this month of January. The next question says, how do you find time for everything? I'm a few weeks away from having my 3rd, and I have a 3 and 4-year-old. My husband works long hours. I struggle to find time to cook, clean, teach, discipline, and love my 2 children. I'm wondering how I'm going to fit a 3rd. And I can so relate to that. Like when I had 2 and 3, and they literally can't do anything for themselves. You have to help them with everything. That's just like a really hard season, and I don't think there's really any perfect answer for that, because like right now in the season, like you are their full-time caregiver, and you're putting all of your energy and all of your time into meeting their needs and spending time with them. So I can totally understand that. I will say that as your children get older, it does become a little bit easier when they can start, you know, getting themselves dressed, giving themselves baths, brushing teeth, fixing their own sandwiches. Little things like that will start helping out so much. So I would just say to, for sure, give yourself grace. If everything does not get done that day, it's okay. But as far as like cooking and cleaning, I would say make a certain time of the day where you just have them sit down and color, watch a movie, like a little cartoon movie, or give them something to do a certain time of the day where you can get your cleaning done and maybe go ahead and dinner prep for that night. Something like that. That's what I would suggest. Like during their busy times where they don't need you, I would get all the things done that I could get done. And it also makes it super hard when you have a husband that works long hours. When my girls were little, my husband actually worked out of town some, so I totally know where you're coming from. But yeah, just those hours that they are playing and they're content and don't need mommy, go ahead and get whatever you need to get done. But yeah, I know that's probably not a huge help, but yeah, I know where you're coming from. All right, next question is favorite mom woman devotional, and when do you fit it in? And I actually kind of answered this at the beginning. If you want to go back to the beginning, I shared all the devotionals that I really love, and the time that I fit that in is in the morning before the kids get up. While I'm eating my breakfast, I will go ahead and do my Bible time. prayer, all of that stuff, which prayer to me is like a constant all day thing. But as far as sitting down and reading my Bible or my devotionals, I do that first thing in the morning while I'm having breakfast. Even if some of the kids are up, I do it anyway. And then other times, like last night, I didn't get to it yesterday morning, so last night after my 2 little ones went to bed, I sat down and I spent time in the Bible. Usually mornings or nights is my best time to fit that in. Next question is, how do you find time for you, and how do you keep from going crazy with as many littles? So finding time for me, I actually don't do a whole lot. Like literally, I'm home all the time. If I leave, it's like to the store real quick or to grab a coffee. Like I'm literally here all the time. But finding time for me, I would say it was either in the mornings when I'm having my Bible time, or like right now I'm alone. Josh and all the girls are upstairs and I'm in the basement filming this video, so this is kind of like my alone time. And if I'm having one of those days where I'm just like super stressed and feel overwhelmed, if Josh is here, I'll just leave him with the girls and I'll go and I'll grab a coffee, run into a store and walk around, look around. Little things like that help me a lot, just to kind of wind down for a few minutes. All right, next question is, if you could move your family to any other state, where would it be? Also, where do you find your energy? Okay, so it's funny that you ask, because you know that we all live here. We live here in South Carolina, and I've always told Josh that if we've ever moved, I've always told him this, I want to go to Tennessee. I love Tennessee. If we get to go on vacation, that is my #1 place that I want to go. I want to visit. I just love it. I don't know, it's just the fresh air there. It's beautiful. I mean, Tennessee is absolutely gorgeous if you have never been. I just love the mountains. So yeah, if we ever had to move to a different state for any reason, I would choose Tennessee for sure, hands down. So Megan, if you're watching, I love your state. And as far as finding energy, I think I said this on Instagram, y'all. I just pray, ask the Lord to give me strength each day, because without him, I could not do it. And I make sure that I'm not very good at this, y'all, but I try to take my vitamins. Like, I'm not someone who remembers to take that every morning, so I don't take it always in the morning, because it's throughout the day. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to take my vitamin. So I think vitamins helps, and tons of water. I gave up sodas and tea back in July, and I've had nothing but water with lunch and supper and throughout the day, and I think that has helped a lot. I did not realize how many teas and sodas I was drinking and how yucky it made me feel. And now that I have not had one in so long, I don't crave it anymore. So like when I sit down with my water and the rest of the family has tea or soda, it doesn't bother me because the craving's not there anymore. And the other thing is coffee. Like, coffee is a definite energy booster for me. I love coffee. All right, next question is, what is the hardest part of homeschooling so many different ages, and how do you get past it? The hardest part of homeschooling so many ages is meeting everybody's needs. Everybody's on a different level, and for me, I still have a hard time trying to find that balance of everybody needing me at once, especially when you have a baby or a toddler that needs you too. That can always be like a constant struggle. So what I'm learning to do is, when I first started homeschooling, I felt like it had to be the traditional sit down at your desk first thing in the morning, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to sit down and we're going to do school right now. But as I'm getting older and as I'm learning more, I'm realizing that it does not have to be done in the morning. It does not have to be done at a desk. Learning can happen anywhere. Like, I've sat down on the couch with my littles while I'm holding a baby or nursing a baby and help them with their schoolwork. My 3 oldest girls work really good independently. Like, they can read their stuff and get it done, and I'm always around if they need to come to me with a question. If it's a new concept, I will teach that to them and they can go from there. So my high schooler, middle schooler, and even my fifth grader still needs help pretty good bit, but when she gets started on something, she's pretty good. Unless she gets stumped on a question, then she comes to me. So I would just say finding that balance through the day. If you need to wait until a baby naps, then wait till a baby naps and then start school. I mean, because there is nothing wrong with afternoon school. And y'all, I don't know why. I guess because I was personally a public school kid, and I just remember that traditional school setting of you start school at 8 a.m., you sit down at your desk, and you get all your bookwork done. And it took many years to get that out of me and to realize that's not how it has to be done. This is homeschooling. We have the freedom to do it at the time of the day we want to. We have the freedom to go at our own pace and to learn. And yeah, they're not going to learn any more sitting at a desk than they will sitting on a couch beside you. That's something that it took me many years to learn, y'all. So if you're just starting out, trust me, it's okay. All right, so the next question is, how do you divide up chores? So as of right now, my 3 oldest are pretty much the only ones that have chores. That's my 15-year-old, she's about to be 13, and then my 10-year-old. So they have the same exact chores every single day, and they probably hate that. I probably do need to change it up so they don't get so bored, but they literally know exactly what's expected of them every single day. My 15-year-old has unloading and loading the dishwasher every day, after breakfast and after supper. Sometimes there is some after lunch that she needs to do, but usually we don't make a huge mess after lunch. So 3 times a day, sometimes 2, she is unloading, loading the dishwasher, and that's it. That's all she has to do. She's required to keep her room clean, her dirty clothes picked up. That is not like a chore. That is just something that they have to do around here. I take care of all the laundry, like I do her laundry, all of that stuff, fold it, and she puts it away. And then my 13-year-old, hers does change a little bit. Sometimes she has the dining room where she wipes down the table, the chairs, sweeps, vacuums, whatever needs to be done. And then sometimes she'll have the 2 little ones. They're 3 and almost 2. She likes to help me with them. Like, she'll say, hey mama, can I get them dressed for the day, or you know, do something with them. She'll trade out her dining room chore for that. And sometimes I'm okay with that, because if I'm busy doing something, then that's a huge help if she wants to get those 2 dressed for me. So hers just depends on the day. Sometimes she has the dining room, and sometimes she has getting those 2 dressed. And then my 10-year-old, bless her heart, I think she's getting so tired of this, but she has folding towels every day of her life. But she's getting really good at it. Like, she's getting to be a pro at this. So we have towels. She's the one that folds them and puts them in their designated bathrooms. And again, my 13 and 10-year-old are just required to keep their room clean and to keep their own dirty clothes picked up and upstairs. I've told them, if your clothes do not make it to the laundry basket upstairs, they don't get washed. Sorry, mama's not coming down to the basement and looking for dirty clothes. I feel like they are old enough and responsible enough to bring their clothes up, and they do a good job at that, because they know if they do not bring it up, there's no clean clothes. So I think they have learned that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I feel like I probably need to add in some, like you said, some dusting and things like that. I'm a horrible duster. I don't know why that chore just slips right by me, y'all, but I'm a horrible duster. And when y'all say dust something, I'm like, yeah, maybe I need to dust my house. But I'm slowly adding my 7-year-old in there with chores. She'll be 8 in May, and right now what I'm having her do is just bring up her own dirty clothes, and if the living room needs clean, I'll get her to clean the living room. I feel like I need to work with her a little bit more. 6-year-old and my 5-year-old really don't have any chores right now. The only thing they have to do is help me clean their bedroom when it's time. And why I say help me is because I have went in there and cleaned it by myself, and if they go in there and clean it by themselves, there's stuff under the bed, so they're required to help me clean the room up. All right, next question is, if you do have a boy this time, where's his room going to be? My husband and I have been talking about this. Thankfully, we have moved and we have a bigger house with more room. As of right now, we have 4 girls down in our basement. We have 2 on one side, and then there's a stairway that divides, and then 2 on the other side. And I'm actually sitting in a room that's kind of like their movie game room. This is a futon I'm sitting on, and then they have a TV in here. This technically could be a whole nother bedroom if we need it to be, but as of right now, we don't. On our main level, we have 2 more bedrooms. We have my 3-year-old and 1-year-old in one bedroom, and then we have my 6 and 5-year-old other bedroom. So for over a year, we really don't even have to worry about that, because when the baby's born, the baby stays in our room for the whole first year of its life. I've done that with all of my girls. They just stay in my room for a year. They have their crib in my room for the first year. I just like to have them close by. So that is quite a while away before I have to worry about that. But when we do, if it's a boy, we are going to just rearrange rooms. We might move 1 or 2 more girls down to the basement, or move one in with another one. I'm not sure, but eventually he will have his own room if it's a boy, but no time soon, because he'll share a room with us when he's 1 and until he's 1, and then he's little, so it don't really matter. All right, next question is, how old are you and your husband, and what are the guidelines will you have for your girls to follow when dating comes up? All right, so I am 34. I will be 35 in April, and my husband is 35 already. He turned 35 in November. And the dating guidelines, like, I don't even want to think about that, y'all. But I guess when they are interested in dating and when they start dating, of course, they're not going to go out anywhere alone. The boy will have to come here for us to meet him and for them to hang out there. I've kind of always loved how the Bates did with dating, where there was always a chaperone around, where the boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, always came to their house. I really like that idea. And it helps keep accountability, which we haven't really talked a whole lot about it since our girls are still so young. But when we come to that chapter in our life, we'll discuss it more on how we want to do that. All right, last question says, what made you guys decide you wanted to have a big family? And do you ever get negative comments or judgment from friends or other family members about your number of children? So I don't think we ever really sat down and just decided that we wanted to have a big family. And I've told this story before, but when my husband and I were getting married, the pastor that married us, he required for you to take counseling before marriage. So he had us fill out this sheet about how many kids we wanted, and I couldn't see Josh's sheet and he couldn't see mine. And we actually did not get those sheets back until 5 years later. But when it said how many kids do you want, I put 1 to 2. And when I read Josh's 5 years later, it said 1 to 2 kids. So when we talked and on our papers, we both decided we wanted 1, maybe 2, possibly 2. We'll see. And even after my first daughter was born, my grandma asked me, she was like, so do you want any more? I'm like, nope, I just want 1. I'm good with 1. And she's like, don't say that. You might change your mind. And I was like, I don't know. And about a year and a half later, my first was 18 months old, I got pregnant with my second daughter. And I think when my third was born, I felt like, we thought we were pretty much done having kids. I think 3 was going to be it. And then our fourth daughter came along. My third and fourth are 3 years apart, so they're the biggest gap there. And then after that, we've just been so excited to add another baby to the family, and we've just grown into a big family without even kind of realizing that we have. But we love it, we're blessed, and we wouldn't have it any other way. So I love being part of a big family. And about negative comments or judgment, thankfully, y'all, no negativity here from friends or family. I know that a lot of big families get that, but I'm thankful that we do not. And if they talk behind our backs, I don't know and don't really care, honestly. So when I announce a pregnancy, people are just like, congratulations. I think with 6 or 7, they may have said something like, made snarky comments about having another one. But I think now at 9, it's just become expected, and they're just like, oh, congratulations again, congratulations again. Nobody really says anything. And my family has always been really happy for us. Like they're excited like we are. Friends are always excited for us. So yeah, thankfully no negative comments or anything like that. I guess the only kind of weird things we get is if we go out in public, like people staring at us, like we're circus coming to town or something like that. Like when people start counting your kids, or do you know what causes that? All of those kind of crazy comments. So most of our comments come from strangers, not friends and family. They're all pretty supportive. I guess the weirdest, rudest comment I've ever had was I was in a produce stand and a guy asked me, he's like, really, you have that many? Are they all from the same dad? And I was like, yes. That's a very inappropriate question. So yeah, I guess that would be the weirdest one, is are they all from the same dad? Yes, they're all from the same dad, in case you're wondering. All right, actually I have another question. It says, budgeting tips. Love your family, excited about the new baby. Thank you so much. And as far as budgeting tips, you can ask my husband this. I'm not very good at keeping a budget. I never have been. It's not my strong suit. I'm just not good at it. So I can't really give you any great budgeting tips, but I can tell you that we do live inside of our means. We don't live extravagant or just buy it because we can, nothing like that. So I kind of know when I go grocery shopping, I kind of know where I need to be at. I have a certain number in my head. If I go a few dollars over that, it's okay because it's food and we're going to eat it and we need it anyway. And as far as eating out, we usually limit that to about 2 times a week, maybe lunch and a dinner. And let's see what else. Sometimes 3 because we do pizza on Friday nights, which is really cheap for our family. And then clothes, like I rarely go out and buy new clothes for the kids. when a season changes, I first check out consignment stores and see what I can find there. And then for my older girls, they're getting a little bit too big for that because of the sizes at our consignment store. So they usually get brand new clothes from somewhere. But I shop for deals, I shop for sales. Like Labor Day is a great time to buy clothes because they have such great deals then. But yeah, and we haven't been on vacation in like 2 years, I guess. So there's not a lot that we need to budget for. Sometimes we'll take a day trip somewhere and that don't cost a lot of money for us. Field trips have kind of been out of the picture for this past year. So yeah, just things like that. Like we don't spend a lot, so we don't need to budget for a lot, if that makes sense. Because we know what bills are coming in every month, how much they are. We know that we need to get those paid, our tithes paid. And then the rest is just base it on what we have to spend on that. If we have the extra to buy something extra, then we may just save for it. We don't go out and buy a whole lot of new things a lot. My car is used. It's a 2012. It's paid for, so we do not have a car payment on my van, so that's great. And just, you know, little things like that. So we just live within our means pretty much. But anyway, y'all, that's all the questions I had. I thank y'all so much for watching today's video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you in the comments. Bye.